My name is Cathy Konkle. I'm a registered massage therapist, and I came to First Whistler for work, and as many families here do, need to afford a place to live, so then bought a place in Pemberton and decided to stay and grow my family here. I'm connected to a lot of the families in Pemberton because I work a lot with pregnancy and with children through massage therapy, and then I also teach gymnastics, so I start with the kids at 18 months and work with them all the way through, so I'm connected before even having my own kids into the families of Pemberton, sort of the young children, and sort of hearing sort of what Pemberton needed, what we needed here in town to make our community even better and connect it and grow. So my son is 2.5 and sort of facing some of the challenges, even just being pregnant and having only so much medical coverage here in Pemberton. Having kids, you can't just generally just have them here in Pemberton, you have to choose sponsor down to Vancouver, so just sort of becoming aware of those sorts of things as I was pregnant and going through having a child, and just creating more resources just available for people having kids in Pemberton and knowing what their options are and all the different places they can go. So once I had Travis, I started going to one of the mummy groups, and that's through the public health, and I connected with, there were about 22 of us that had kids within 2 months of each other, and going to these mummy groups and just really finding that there was a kind of some sort of connection missing, and that was a huge support network, and just that a lot of the parents and families that have come to Pemberton and started families don't have grandparents or even other family members, aunts and uncles, that sort of thing, and just really we became the support network for each other in coming to the public health, and that was just a once a week sort of a thing, and once your children get to a certain age, they kind of hand you off and push you out the door. What we did find were there were a lot of people coming to Pemberton and didn't know anyone and having their kids here, so kind of feeling quite isolated and abandoned, and just needing some way to connect. And our forms of communication have changed so much over the years. We just started an email list, and if someone was going to the park, we'd start to send out just an email, everyone's going to the park, so we were able to connect that way. So putting Children First initiative is a government initiative, and that's how I kind of got involved. They asked for people who were interested in creating things for children in Pemberton. So I went out to one of their meetings, and that's a government-funded sort of program, and they asked for people to start to get involved, and I kind of said, well, I already have an email list of 20 to 30 people, so I already have sort of that reaching out, and I'd already met people through both my practice and gymnastics. So it was sort of a common ground for a lot of people. So in that, we decided to get together with some other community members and start Growing Great Children. And it's a community organization that just identifies basically what Pemberton was missing, what the families of Pemberton were looking for in Pemberton, and starting to just fill in those holes and do what we could with the resources that we had available to us just at that time. So Growing Great Children came about in December of 2008. We started with our first meeting then, and really found that one of the biggest things was communication. How did people even know if there were drop-in groups going on? How did they know where the library was? How did they know just if there was support networks for people, how to get in touch with them? So we created a calendar which we put out every month, which identifies for the families just all the different activities that are going on, whether they're the library, the community center,
tea and
drop-in
tails.
groups. Yeah, all the tea and tails, tea and tails, and those sorts of things, so that even if you were new to town, that you were able to sort of, even if you're just coming through town, you would be able to see what's happening in Pemberton for kids and hopefully join in if you needed that support. And we also discovered that a lot of people wanted some nutritional support, so on the back of our calendar we have a recipe every month, and also just a creative craft or something to do with your kids, just as it comes second nature to some of us to do those sorts of things with our families. Some people are just learning how to be parents and getting some ideas as what to do with their kids especially at certain ages. So that was our first sort of project, and we got that done right away. And our sort of long-term goal was to get either a web page or a blog going on the computer. So if you were home with a sick kid, you still had a way to connect to other people, and we got that up and going now. So we kind of got our long-term goal of hoping to be 2 years or even 5 years down the road